Hi Preps! Today we're going to do the second reading of our story, Stuck. The words "it all began" are the setting of our story. Those words tell us when the story takes place. It's like starting a story with once upon a time or in the beginning. Do you know where this story is set? The story is set outside under a tree. The takeoff comes right at the beginning of the story. Do you remember what the takeoff is for Stuck? The takeoff is when Floyd gets his kite stuck in the tree. Floyd makes so many attempts in the book to get his kite down from the tree. What are some of Floyd's attempts? Do you remember? Floyd ended up creating a bigger problem for himself in this story. Instead of having only his kite stuck in the tree, he made lots of things get stuck in the tree. Sometimes when we try to fix or solve a problem, we accidentally make the problem worse. Have you ever tried to solve a problem yourself, but made a bad choice and it only made the problem worse? Can you tell me about it? Floyd enjoys flying his kite at the end of the story when he finally gets it down from the tree. Have you flown a kite before? Do you know what type of weather is best for flying a kite? Did you say windy weather? I'm going to say the sound of a word and I want you to tell me what the word is. Are you ready? Floyd. That's right, I said Floyd. Floyd is the main character of our book. We're going to read the story again. Stuck by Oliver Jeffers. It all began when Floyd got his kite stuck in a tree. He tried pulling and swinging, but it wouldn't come unstuck. The writing looks like a child, or maybe Floyd, wrote this book. It's not very neat and it's got lots of capital letters right in the middle of sentences. We know that we only put capital letters at the beginning of a sentence or if there's a name of a person or a place. The trouble really began when he threw his favourite shoe to knock the kite loose, and that got stuck too. Throwing his shoe into the tree is Floyd's first attempt to get his kite down. Why do you think he used his shoe to get the kite down? He threw up his other shoe to knock down his favourite shoe, and unbelievably, that got stuck as well. In order to knock down his other shoe, Floyd fetched Mitch. What is the cat doing here? The cat is licking his paw. Cats get stuck in trees all the time, but this was getting ridiculous. Floyd fetched a ladder. He was going to sort this out once and for all. And up he threw it. What else could Floyd have done with the ladder? Could he have put the ladder against the tree and climbed up to get his things? I'm sure you can guess what happened. Floyd's eyebrows here look like a sad mouth. That tells me that Floyd is feeling a bit down about all the things getting stuck. What happened here to the ladder? It got stuck too. The ladder was borrowed from a neighbour and would definitely need to be put back before anyone noticed. And in order to do so, Floyd flung a bucket of paint at it. And wouldn't you know, the bucket of paint got stuck. Then Floyd tried. Floyd here looks furious. The author has drawn a furrowed eyebrow. Floyd's hands are clenched into fists. His feet looks like he's stamping and his mouth is turned down, so he has an angry face and an angry black thought cloud above his head. Then Floyd tried a duck to knock down the bucket of paint, a chair to knock down the duck, his friend's bicycle to knock down the chair, the kitchen sink to knock down his friend's bicycle, their front door to knock down the kitchen sink. The number of the house is 26. I can see it here on the sign. Where do you think Floyd got the sink from? Do you think he got the sink from his own kitchen in his house? What else could Floyd get from the kitchen to throw up into the tree? The family cat to knock down their front door. The milkman to knock down the family cat. Did you get up here the same way? I think the milkman looks quite confused and he's asking the cat how he got up into the tree. An orangutan to knock down the milkman, who surely had somewhere else to be. A small boat to knock down the orangutan, a big boat to knock down the small boat, a rhinoceros to knock down the big boat, a long-distance lorry to knock down the rhinoceros, the house across the street to knock down the long-distance lorry. Floyd? This is a speech bubble here, so that shows what the neighbour is saying. And the neighbour is saying Floyd's name. She calls out to him, and there's a question mark here because she's not sure if it is Floyd or not. A lighthouse to knock down the house no longer across the street. A curious whale in the wrong place at the wrong time to knock down the lighthouse. Hi. What are you doing? The whale does not know what is going on. He's curious. And they all got stuck. The writing here is in capital letters and it's really big and bold. That makes sure that all the words are said in a really strong voice. What else could the author have put here to make sure you say these words in a strong, loud voice? The author could have put an exclamation mark at the end. A fire engine was passing and heard all the commotion. The firemen stopped to see if they could help at all. Can we help at all? And up they went, first the engine, followed by the firemen, one by one. Here's another speech bubble. The fireman is saying something. And there they stayed, stuck between the orangutan and one of the boats. Firemen would definitely be noticed missing, and Floyd knew he'd be in big trouble. Then he had an idea and went to find a saw. Floyd's idea is the plan that he's come up with. Can you remember what Floyd's plan is? He lined it up as best he could and hurled it up the tree. If you hurl something, that means you throw it really hard. Floyd, that is ridiculous. And that was it. Pop! There was no more room left in the tree, and the kite came unstuck. Floyd was delighted. He had forgotten all about his kite and put it to use immediately, enjoying the rest of his day very much. That night, Floyd fell asleep exhausted. Though before he did, he could have sworn there was something he was forgetting. Hang on a minute, lads. I've got a great idea. These poor people and animals have been stuck in the tree for hours. We can see that it's night time and they're still stuck in the tree. In this story, sometimes colours are used to represent feelings. Painters or illustrators can use the colour blue to show that people are feeling sad or upset. Let's see if we can find a page that is blue. Why do you think the illustrator made the pictures in this page blue? Do you think it's to show that Floyd was feeling sad? The colour red can be used to show anger. I think this might be because when you're angry, all the blood rushes to your head and turns your face bright red. Let's see if we can find the page that is red. Why do you think the author made this page red? Do you think it's to show that Floyd is starting to feel angry? The kite is precious to Floyd because at the end of the book you see him sleeping in bed with it. People usually only take precious things with them to cuddle when they're in bed. Do you have something precious that you sleep with at night? Do you have a precious teddy or a precious toy that you sleep with? The kite finally falls down when Floyd throws up the saw into the tree. Then there's no more room in the tree, so the kite comes unstuck. What are some other ways that Floyd could have got the kite down? What else could he have done with the saw? I thought he was going to chop the tree down with the saw. What else could he have used to get his kite down? Do you think maybe he could have used the ladder right at the beginning of the story to get his kite down before he got all those other things stuck? I think he probably could have. Great job, Preps.